Yo, guys, what's up? What's up? We are back. 9 p.m. Tuesday, April 13th. I am back in my home here in Gilroy, California. And the setting, I don't know. I think the lighting, I probably need a little bit more better lighting, but hopefully this is all right. Now, as far as when I was using what is it, Streamlab OBS. There's some issue with it right now, so I probably need to hit up my boy Cliff to help out. But as far as what I could do right now, this is just straight out of YouTube. So yeah, we're gonna just work it from here. So whoever's out there, what's up? What's up? Drop in the chat. Let me know where you guys are. And the hard thing about this is I really can't show the picture and all that stuff, but it is on the site. So, yesterday I was at the dance studio. So some of you guys were able to jump on yesterday at the dance studio. So again, if you guys don't remember, or if you guys don't have it jotted down, every Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I teach at the Get Down. So what I try to do is I try to do a live stream there. The unfortunate thing is while I'm teaching, I won't be able to, see the chat and all that stuff. But you guys are free to go check it out. And also, most of the time for the privacy of my students, I won't be filming the students. It would just be me. All right. So you guys get to watch me while I teach the class. And feel free to just join in, for a lot of you guys who are not in the Bay Area, you could actually just sit in one of my classes and then just practice along with me. I think that's the that's the next best thing. So every Monday night, once again, every Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you guys should join in. Okay. Also this afternoon at 2 p.m. I don't know who caught it, but hopefully some of you guys are able to catch it. If you haven't caught it, you can go back and check it out on my site. I did an interview with KB, my little brother, my young brother of the Jabberwockies. You guys should check it out. See, there's a lot of gold nuggets there. A lot of dancers that I know, really great dancers, but not so much from the interview with KB. All right. If you ever get a chance to meet him, you'll see that this guy has a lot of intelligence behind the man himself. He carries it through to his dancing. So definitely appreciate him sharing his time. So do check it out. It actually ran quite long. Normally, I like to keep my interviews, within an hour. However, sometimes when you guys sit down with a friend or somebody that the conversation goes so well, you don't even notice, that it went so long. Anyways, before I knew it, it was 2 hours. It was twice as long as most of the interviews, and he just has so much knowledge. And I feel like we haven't really even touched upon a lot of the things I wanted to talk about because there's just so much with it. So I definitely do look forward to bringing him back. And again, if you guys, I think you kind of have to be in a shell in the past 10 years to never even heard about the Jabberwockies. So again, I always think like people kind of doubt, like, oh yeah, you dance with Jabberwockies, this and that. First of all, I want to clear, I never danced as a Jabberwocky, okay? But I always claim these are my younger brothers in the sense that this is a dance family. We dance together as mind tricks, all right? I see you, R Square. I see you, Megan. What's up, guys? So you could, again, if you guys just join in, check it out. It's on the channel. The interview with Kevin Brewster. All right, he's not Brewster, Brewer. He is to me the younger part of the younger mind tricks generation. very, very proud of him, the success that they have. And you know, this is an advice. And again, watch the video. But the thing is, like, the advice is this: there's a lot of, I know there's a lot of groups that out there that are, or just individuals, right, that are out there that watch the Jabberwockies, or they watch you know, any successful dance groups or dancers, dance teams out there, and then they think, okay, this is, you know, I want to be like them. That's great. That's the dance part. But the part that, you know, that we're talking about is more than that. There's just, like, when you see, you know, the glamour and all the dance and stuff, we kind of don't think about some of the bad stuff. What do I mean by bad stuff? I mean, some of you guys could probably, you know, if you ever on a dance team, you know, there's drama. There's drama with anything, right? Like, if you guys ever have a best friend for a long time, the best friend thing never ever, it's never always like, oh man, you're my best friend for life, you know. Usually, if you're with somebody, even brothers, sisters, even family, you know, the thing what we try to get to is, ultimately, it's the communication. You gotta work on your communication, right? Our score, you mentioned work. Exactly. Work, family, close friends, and definitely dance groups, you know. And then if you're successful, then you're gonna have a management team, right? A company, because with them, they're fortunate enough to reach a higher success. And of course, they have their agents, they have you know, a business team that helps promote their brand. So there are a lot of issues. There are a lot of trust issues, right? Because within a group, there's some trust issues with your management. There's some trust issues and things like that. So, you know, a lot of aspiring dancers don't get to hear that. We always only watch, like, for example, take a look at the Jacksons, right? You don't, unless you really dig deep and you understand, like, oh, all the things they need to go through. And again, it's not just the singing, the dancing, all that stuff. It's all the other stuff that they're not prepared for. Those are the things that kind of break a group apart. Okay, so highly suggest checking that out. And again, I'm going to try to bring him back on more, because he has so much knowledge, you know. But I think, for the most part, most of us that are on this channel, we just want to gain the skills. I understand that. That's cool. So, you know, most part, I want to just provide, like, okay, how to get started. But there's a lot of people who got started, and they're, you know, again, I don't know exactly where you guys are in your dance journey, but for the people that are taking the dance to a certain level, you know, let's say you have a group already, you guys done some shows, and, you know, maybe some agents are seeking you, and maybe even a TV show or whatever, you know. Those are the things that most of us aren't prepared for, because you're not really training for that. You're just training to, like, all right, you know, this is a routine, and try to dance, you know, get your dance skill on. But anyways, it was really a blessing to pick his brain. And for me, I was super proud to you know, see a younger brother succeed at such a high level. Okay, Mara, what's up? I see you. Haven't seen you. Did you jump in the other day? I'm not even sure, but I feel like we haven't seen you in a while. So good to see you back here again. All right. So anyways, that's what I want to chat about. But I want to go back, and I think at least every day I want to give you guys some drills to work on with popping. Okay. So the last few times I remember, we did the extension, which is we popped out. And then the time before that, we talked about, you know, popping in and out, in and out. And again, now today, it's more about combining the two, right? Because you don't want to just always practice popping out and always popping in, right? So one arm could go out, one arm could go in. So it could be like, this arm is bent, all right? So for example, the side view is right here. This arm's coming in, and this arm's going out. So it's boom, boom, here. and then vice versa. So this arm, I'm punching forward. This arm is coming in. Boom, boom. So one arm going in, one arm going out. I know it's like a little tip, but I think doing it in small chunks, it's a lot easier to digest. It's a lot easier to kind of absorb. All right. So we're gonna give that a try. Again, I'm not really playing music right now, but this is just an idea that everybody here should be able to take home, or you guys are at home. I mean, throughout your days to be able to practice. You know what I'm saying? So again, the arm doesn't matter if it's an open hand or a closed fist or whatever. One is in, one is out. Okay. So this one goes in, boom, boom. So I could even go this way, right? Boom, 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 boom. Bam, 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 bam. Practice this way. Same thing here. Here, here. Bam, bam, boom, boom. Okay. So simple idea again. And now as you move your arms, again, one could be in, one could be out right here. Here, 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 here. This is a really cool pose, right? A lot of here. I remember a few poses that Poppin' Pete did when he was young. He would do a lot of here, a lot of cool poses. You know what I mean? Like think of like if you're a model, like 80s model, you know, doing your poses, something like that, right? Bam, bam, bam. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Just simple poses. Pose. Give that a try. Now, you see how like this is gonna change things. Like if you pop this way, so most of the time if we go like this, it's more of an extension, right? This is more of a contraction, but you could do it either way. Contraction means coming in here, extension going out, in. See what I'm saying? This one's coming in, the other one's going out. Boom, 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 boom. Or both going out, or both going in. So have the ability to switch as quickly as you can. So like when you play music, boom, bah, boom, bah, boom, bah, 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 sha. Okay. One of the things that I did in class to get people to start just freestyling, okay, is just go 1, 2, 3, and then just pause, hold the 4. All right. So you guys know every bar has 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the idea is pause on the 4. It gives you more time. All right. Most of the time when we hesitate to freestyle, like imagine if all of us were here in person live, right? And I just say, hey, R Square, just freestyle in front of everybody. Just thinking about that kind of makes everybody a little bit nervous, right? Unless you've done it a lot. Now, what happens is even if you've done it for a while, it's really easy to kind of get into a pressure situation where you almost feel like you have to impress the people around you. You know what I mean? Again, yeah. It feels like there's pressure. All of us feels that. It doesn't matter. I mean, same with me. Even if you throw me in a circle, especially if Poppin' Pete or any of the Boogaloos or any dancers that I feel like, wow, these guys are good. It's gonna make me nervous, and it's gonna add that added pressure. So all of us have that pressure. All right. So that's a given. However, what I try to tell all my students, my beginning students, is do not, I mean, I swear, like 99% of us, okay, I'm going to put myself included, has the added pressure of trying to impress somebody. And what that does, it makes us do too much. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, we feel like we have to do so much to impress. And what happens when you do too much, it looks rushed and it doesn't look clean. So when you start, you should just warm up with a boom, 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 pause, boom, 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 pause. All right. So don't try to do the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm going to do go 100 miles an hour. Keep it simple. Boom, boom, boom. Right. So actually, you want boom, 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 boom. Just keep it slow and boom, boom, boom. And then just 1, 2, 3, and just hold. Don't do anything on the 4. Take your time. Take your time. Because eventually, what happens is, first, what I do is I focus on just trying to stay on beat. Okay. And you guys going to hear me say this a lot. R square, you feel like, or you heard me say this a lot. And again, you're probably going to hear me say that a lot again and again. Megan, same thing. Marimar, same thing. You're going to hear me say this over and over and over and over again. And the reason why I have to say that is because I know for me, for myself, when I first heard it, I thought I understood it, but I didn't understand it. Does that make sense, guys? Like, so many times, imagine like, gosh, we all heard this before. We all understand what it means to say, when people say practice makes perfect, right? We all understood that. We all understood, hey, practice makes perfect. Practice makes first. We kind of understand it. You know what I mean? Now, if you had never won a championship before, you don't understand it the same as a person who's won a championship before. Does that make sense? So every one of you guys, think back to a time if you ever won a championship or if you ever got first place in anything. You know what I mean? You understand what it means when somebody says practice makes perfect. Now, when if you were on a team that got like 5th place, your coach probably told you practice makes perfect. But as a team, you guys probably didn't practice as much as a team that took first place. All right. So the team that took first place, if you're ever on a team that took first place or second place, who worked really, really hard, if you were ever like the best player on your team, all right, we're talking about sports or something like that. And if we're not talking about sports, let's say we're talking about I don't know, academics or sports or anything that you have to work really, really hard for. Okay. So the idea of practice makes perfect, it means totally different than a person who practiced 5 hours, at practice versus a person who comes in, just barely on time or like 2 minutes late. And then right when the bell rings, the person takes off versus a person who just stays to get it over and over and over and over again until they can't get it wrong, right? So there's a difference. There's a huge, huge difference. So when I'm saying be on beat, it sounds easy, but if any of you guys ever really want to pop and try to be on beat, you know that it's not easy. You know that it's a process. It's not something like if I teach you 1 + 1 = 2 and you go, yes, 1, 1, 2. Oh, that makes sense. Because that's an instant, right? It's not like that. It's not like that. It's more of like, imagine multiplication, right? Multiplication is a skill, right? So, when you're little, you gotta, if your parents are like my parents, they they make sure they beat you until you memorize the multiplication table, right? Now the thing is, multiplication table it's one digit, right? For me, you know, when you're in elementary school, if you have to memorize the multiplication table, it takes time to memorize it, right? It takes time to memorize, you know, 4 times 5, 20, boom, right? 9 times 9, 81. But now what happens is we're taking that to a higher level. Can you do that for 2-digit numbers? You know what I mean? Can you be that quick with 2-digit numbers? 12 times 12, right? 13 times 13, 85 times 85. It's a lot hard. It's practice. It's practice. Your brain has to get through it. Now, as far as dance, it's the same thing. The rhythm is the same thing. It's not something that you could just get right away. It's something that you have to practice over and over and over and over again. So like these kind of drills that I give you, yeah, everybody could come here and do this with me for maybe 5 minutes. But the idea is when you're dancing in front of the boogaloos, or if you're dancing in front of the top dancers in the world, the judges, all that added pressure, right? Or if you're battling, that's a whole new story. That's why all the little, like if one of you guys did this 50,000 times versus another person who only did it 50 times, who's going to be, there's no question. The person who did it more is he or she, right, will be just so relaxed, and their mind is just so relaxed and just look, boom, effortless, versus the person who only practiced 50 times, their face is going to be all like, you know, like you could see it in somebody's face when it's natural versus somebody who's just like nervous and struggling with it. Be on beat, practice over and over again. And I think that's what, you know, if I was your dance mentor, if I was your dance instructors, I would just tell you the same thing over and over and over again. And if I see that you weren't doing it, I would call it out. And that's what a good instructor would do, because a good instructor shouldn't just be like, all right, you know, oh, cool, you're doing good, when you're not. Sometimes, you know, and again, I don't want to I don't know who all the instructors are. Guys out there, you guys are, if you are instructors, or if you are taking a class with other instructors who are just telling you, hey, you know, good job. And if you know that you're not, you know, I think you just got to be honest with yourself to know how to get better, right? Or to know that you haven't been practicing the way you should be. Okay, let me read some of these comments because I know I kind of missed some of it. Is it Snokashi or Kara? I see you. Come on in. I see the smiley face. Cool. Being on beat. Joseph, any tips on making the pop stronger? I've been training for around 3 years now. My hits don't. Hey, Joseph, that is a very common thing. All right. As far as making your pop stronger. So you got to, here, let me explain what that means. First of all, what does it mean to make your pop stronger? All right. And I know what you mean. I think I know what you mean, but I just want to make sure that everybody else here listens and understands what that means. What I think you're trying to say is to make it more pronounceable, make it more like a pop, visually more like a pop, versus something like this. Let me demonstrate. So if I'm going like this, pop, 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 pop. Obviously, you hear me say pop, but you don't see it. Versus if I'm going like pop, 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 you could easily see it, okay? So I think that's what you mean. How do you make it stronger versus like unnoticeable pop, okay? So the unnoticeable pop, the difference is, even though I'm flexing, I'm going, flex. You guys can see it. I'm going flex and relax, flex and relax. The difference is because I take so long to flex. I'm relaxed here, and I'm going flex and relax. You see that? Here to here. How long did that take? It probably took like maybe 0.5 seconds, half a second. But the problem is that's too long. I got to shorten that. I got to make it 0.00001 second. You guys don't understand? Like from here, boom, to it's instant. You got to make it instant. How do you make it instant? You got to tell your brain to do that. Like imagine if somebody shocked you, right? Or if you're running like a 100-meter dash, right when the gunzo goes off, you gotta, boom, you gotta jump out. Does that make sense? You have to train your mind. You have to train your mind to like, and your muscle to fire off right away. It's all fast twitching. So if you study science, if you study any biology, it tells you that your body is made up of fast twitch and slow twitch, right? You can't train the slow twitch. You could be strong. It doesn't matter that you could, curl a lot of weights. That doesn't matter. If you can't do it fast, you're not going to pop. It's all about the fast twitch. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. You got to practice your fast twitch. Again, it doesn't matter, that you have a lot of muscle or little muscle. It matters that you have fast twitch fibers. It's called the fast twitch fibers. And generally in our arms, we have more fast twitch fibers in our arm. That's why we're able to move our hands much, much faster than we can move, other parts of the body. But every part is trainable. Okay. You could train every part of your body muscles to fire off that fast twitch, right? Because when I first started trying to pop my neck, right, it's like, that doesn't look like popping, But when I saw Poppin' Taco, Poppin' Pete, when they're able to, boom, right? I can't really say it and do it at the same time, but sometimes it kind of looks weird, kind of looks gross. But like when you're able to pop with your own body, and especially like if you're wearing a hat or something like that, it makes the pop really, really cool. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question, Joseph. R squared, 85 times 85. Sorry. Yeah, I know that's kind of late but I don't know what it is either. But the point is to train, right? Train your speed. If you train your mind, you could train your muscle. It's the same idea. It's always training. And the thing is, if you stop training, it's going to start going away. All right. I was pretty good in my multiplication. I was able to do, two digits, 3 digits even before, right? That's when I was trying to compete and all that stuff. But now it's like, I'm not trying to compete. So I forgot all that stuff. Okay. Kari, you said you're Sonakshi. I hope I said that right. Sonakshi. Okay. You're a self-learner. Okay. So here's the thing. I love that terminology, but then I always want to make sure that we understand that everybody has a clear understanding what the self-learner is, right? In a sense, we are all self-learners. You could say that, oh, wait, I had the luxury of being with Gary Kendall, being with Skeeter Rabbit, being with Pop and Pete. Yes, I definitely agree. I'm blessed to do that. But before that, we were all self-learners, right? Before I met them, I had to learn from something, right? In a sense, we're self-learners. I want to be careful in saying that we're self-learners, okay? Everybody, be really careful to say that you're self-learner, because the thing is, we're self-learners in the sense that nobody sat us down and they're not in front of us. But if you ever seen anybody on the video, just like now, it's not really a self-learner, right? If I saw Michael Jackson do something and I'm like, ooh, I'm inspired by that. I got a memory, I got a visual what I'm trying to do, then I want us all to be careful to say we're self-learners, because that gives a connotation that I created it on my own. Does that make sense? And I don't think you mean that. I think you just meant, hey, there's nobody in my area to teach me face to face. And I agree with that. There's so many people that aren't able to learn face to face. However, today is so easy because you have the utility of the internet. I mean, even right now, you're able to see me do stuff and be able to get the information from me. So in a sense, you're learning from me, or indirectly from Skeeter Rabbit and from, Gary Kendall, and from everybody that I got the information from. And it's not just me, because you could just, go on YouTube and learn directly from whoever's on YouTube. So I want to be careful, like everybody that I come across, I want to make sure that we understand to be careful when we say we're self-learners. Yes, or self-learner or self-taught. I hear that so much. I understand the word self-taught, right? But there's a connotation when you say self-taught, that means I created it. Because if it's self-taught, that means nobody taught you. That means you didn't get ideas from anybody, but that's not true. If you even got an idea from somewhere, that's not self-taught. Really, that's not self-taught. But then there's a certain part that says, oh, I am self-taught because nobody sat in front of me face to face. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And I don't want to make too big of a deal on it, but if you think about it, the people that came before us that created it, if you just say, hey, I'm self-taught, that kind of negates what they did. That didn't give any credit for anybody before. Does that make sense? Like if you see Michael Jackson do the backslide, they call it a moonwalk, but if you see him do the backslide and then you did it and you go, oh yeah, I'm self-taught. That's like telling another person that, no, you didn't see, you created it. So anyways, I'm kind of sensitive to that because this is what I hear from the pioneers. So hopefully that makes sense. Joseph, you said training the fundamental freestyle learning choreography is the most important in growth. Man, let me read that one more time to make sure I understand exactly what you're asking. Would I say training fundamentals, freestyling, or learning choreography is the most important in growth? To me, okay? To me, I personally feel the fundamental is the most important. What is the fundamental, right? Because when I see somebody, if I take myself, and again, I want to go, Sonakshi, again, I want to thank you for mentioning that. And again, I didn't want to like make it sound like I'm picking on you. I hope I didn't make it sound like that because I hear that so much, self-taught, self-learner. But anyways, I'm glad that it makes sense to you, and I'm glad that you brought that up. So I really, really appreciate it. Again, I want to make sure that everybody here on my channel and in this community understand where I'm coming from, because being in this dance community for over 20 years, I've seen how people get misunderstood and gets offended so easily, like a word like self-taught, right? Because I'm like you. I'm really, really like you. We're all the same in the sense that when we first started, we just want to learn, like, oh my God, that is so cool. I just want to learn how to do it. And we get frustrated because nobody in our area knows how to teach it. So we're just like, well, I gotta try to learn it on my own. I just gotta learn it because I was inspired by this person. So I want to learn it on my own. So I did the same thing you did. Hey, I meet somebody and I'll be like, yeah, I'm self-taught because nobody taught me. And then that offended somebody because they're like, well, what do you mean you're self-taught? You created that? I'm like, no, of course I didn't create that, but there's nobody that taught me, so I had to teach myself. So I understand that, but then I just want to make sure everybody understand, like, if you're ever around the pioneers, quick word of warning, don't ever say you're self-taught. Just say nobody was around to teach me, and I had to try to remember what I was inspired by, and I had to try to recreate it from my memory. And to me, that's perfectly okay, because that's what they understood, okay? All right, so let me go back to what Joseph is saying. You mentioned three things. You mentioned fundamentals, freestyling, or learning choreography. So to me, it's this. Freestyling is one thing right here. Choreography, it's another thing. I think you can learn both in parallel, right? What is choreography? If you guys really think about it, choreography is just memorization of moves, right? First move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I tell everybody, let's go like this on 1, 2, 3, 4. How quickly can you remember it? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that, right? So if you can remember that fast, then your ability to remember things is good. Now, if I give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, if I give you 5 of those 8 counts, that's 40 counts in there. If you're able to remember all that really, really fast, then you're really good at memorizing choreography. Does that make you a good freestyler? No. Right? But if you're a good freestyler, can you remember stuff? Maybe not if you haven't trained about it. So both of them are different ways of training. Okay. Now, if you could train all this stuff, does that mean you're going to be on beat? No. So what's more important? To me, the most important thing is to be on beat, right? Doesn't matter you can memorize all the stuff. Your ability to memorize things has nothing to do with your ability to dance, right? Your ability to freestyle. Freestyle just basically means do whatever you want to do. But there's a lot of freestyles that are dance off beat. So thus, they're not good dancers. So understanding the fundamentals, okay? Understanding, to me, when I say fundamentals, it's basically know what makes dancing good. All right. So everybody that's in here watching right now, really think about it, right? Think about the science of this. How do you know when a person is a good dancer? Like when you watch great dancers right now, okay? Whatever your favorite dance artist is that's on YouTube or whatever TV show. What makes them good? I don't know. You guys could throw it out in the chat right now. Who are your favorites? I know I got my favorites, but some of you guys got your favorites. Megan, I think you showed me some of your favorites. I forgot who they are, but I think there's the Korean dance studios. They're incredible dancers. So if that's your favorite, cool. But now think about it, right? Why? What makes them good? Okay. So actually, who do you watch? Who do you think are great? And Joseph, saying this is more of a question for you. You said, okay, you're a competitive high school hip hop team. You're interested in training poppin' and boogaloo is hard within a limit source on the internet. The internet is, to me, is not a limited source. It's almost unlimited. The internet has so much information. Your job is to, I don't know if it's your job, but the hardest thing for you probably is to find what is good information and what is not so good information. So that's my experience, right? With the internet right now, because when you search on the internet, you type in, maybe, I'm assuming what you do is you probably type in how to pop, how to boogaloo, right? And a list of all these things came up. And just like the rest of us, you probably look at the first top 3 or maybe 5 if you're diligent. But most of us never go to the second page or the third page or whatever. Okay. So whatever the popular, the YouTube algorithm comes up with, and those are the things that comes up. Some of them is probably too hard to understand. And some of them, they probably just show you some choreography. So I understand your frustration. And it's really easy to say, oh, that's a limited resource. It's not a limited resource. It's because if it's limited resource, if you type it in, nothing would come up. It's just too much came up and you don't know which one's the right one. So that's the frustration that we all have, no matter if it's popping a boogaloo, right? Let's say if I want to find out something about like, how to make $1 million or something like that, right? I type it in. I'm sure I'm going to get tons of information, but a lot of it is probably somebody trying to sell me some stuff. So anyways, hopefully that answers your question. But again, going back to your question, what I say is the most important, it's the fundamentals, right? And again, that's another question, right, in its own. What is the fundamental? What's the fundamental of popping? What's the fundamental of dancing, period? All right. So yeah, Megan, 1 million dance. There you go. Leah Kim. That's it. Leah Kim. If phenomenal, dancer. But jump in on that, right? This is for everybody. What makes, for Megan, it'd be Leah. What makes Leah such a great dancer? Of course, she's a great teacher as well, but just on the dance alone, what makes her so good? What makes her so good? Is it just because she's so flexible? Because if that's so, it can't just be that, right? Because we could all think of yoga masters, right? They're incredibly flexible. A lot of gymnasts are incredibly flexible. Are gymnasts great dancers? No, that's not, no way. Not all of them. I mean, there are probably some good gymnast dancers, that's because they train in dancing. But if they're just great at flexibility, it doesn't mean they're great dancers. So what defines what makes them great dancers? I want you guys to think about it, right? Okay, Joseph, I'm reading what you said. Limited compared to urban and hip hop choreography style. I think you're right. I think right now, if we watch, especially on TV, especially on the shows, right? So you think of dance. What else is there? World of Dance, and there's more urban choreographies and things like that. But I would say for me though, when I first started, again, this is two and a half, 3 decades ago, there wasn't anything. So by comparison, there's plenty of resources, right? I was just super lucky to be able to, find good, really, really good. But before I found really, really good dancing, it was really hard. It was really hard, guys. Some of you guys probably never heard of the Yellow Pages. But the Yellow Pages basically is a phone book, right? There's no internet. It's a phone book. So what I had to do, this is a story. What I had to do when I was really, really interested in trying to learn, I went to the Yellow Pages and looked at dance studios. I called every single dance studios from my Yellow Pages, right? And I asked, hey, do you guys have any hip hop classes? And the answer is the same. No, but we do offer ballet, jazz, and tap. Ballet, jazz, and tap. Every single dance studios it was the same thing. Okay. So again, think about it. There's no internet. There's the Yellow Pages, and that was it. So this is a question for all of you guys, right? If that is what you have, how many of you guys would just quit searching? What would you guys do? I'll tell you what I did later, but I'm curious to hear what you guys would do. Imagine, I'm going to take you guys, if there's a time machine that went back, okay, 25 years ago. So what are we talking about? 96, no, maybe 27 years ago, something like that. 94, 95, right? 94, 95. There's no internet. You call the local dance studios and you say, are there any hip hop dance classes? And they say, no, but we have jazz, we have ballet, and we have tap. So what do you guys do? If you see on TV though, you see on once in a while, like the MTV music videos, you see like Bobby Brown, you see a little bit of hip hop dancing in there, but you want to learn that. What do you guys do? What do you guys do? I'm curious to see or hear or read what you guys think, what you guys would do. I'm gonna while I'm waiting for you guys, I'm gonna read what I think I missed some of the readings here. Okay, R squared, Poppin' John for you. All right, cool. Poppin' John, incredible. Yeah. Jason, what's up, man? I see you, brother. Okay, so Megan, you said, yeah, her technique. But see, Megan, I'm gonna try to challenge you a little bit more. What about her technique, right? What makes her technique good? what makes about, what technique, because we could say the speed of her movement, that's part of the technique. The flexibility of movement is technique. And you said, clear cut. I think it's probably just like a definite move. Like if I'm going here, here, that's clear. Okay, so that's like the positioning of her movement. But again, Megan, I want to challenge you. What makes her technique? You say it's precise. How do you make it precise? What do you mean by precise? Rachel, is that okay? Let's see. Tips for making pop look clean. Tips for making popping moves clean. Is that I'm not sure if that's a question for me. Are you saying what are the tips to making your popping move clean? I think that's what you're asking, but I'm not sure. Maybe you could clarify again when you type that in. Right, Joseph, that's exactly what I did too, right? The best thing that, when you if you see somebody doing something really, really good, the only thing you have is your memory, right? And your memory of what you saw either on TV or in person. And you're just like, gosh, I want to try to do what that person did. And that's why I think like dancers from, back in the 70s, the 80s, they didn't have their own camera, they had memory. That's it. And when somebody does something real quick, you're like, wow, okay, shoot, what? I know they did something really cool, but what did they do exactly? Right. And if you have a better memory than that, than another person, then you're able to kind of almost imitate it. If you can't imitate it, then you did it your own way. Does that make sense? Okay. So back then, inspire each other, inspire their friends, and inspire, the competitors to get better, because it's like there's also a certain pride thing, right? So if I see somebody do something like, oh, that's really cool. Okay, they inspire me. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna make mine this way. So there's so much creativity when you don't just try to copy somebody. Okay, but then again, it's so much better when you have a camera, when you're able to reduplicate it, and you're like, dude, I want to do exactly what that person did because it looks so cool. So I totally understand that. All right. But that's only if you're lucky enough to film that person. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Rachel, you said that was a question. So I think your question is, what are the tips to making your pop move look clean? Good. I have my answer for that. And I was hoping that you guys would just chime in and just give some attempts to try to answer that. Okay. Yeah. Try to answer that on your own. What makes a popping? We don't. I don't. Okay. Let's take a popping move out of it. What makes a person pop a good popper? Like when we see Poppin' Pete, what makes him look so good? Is it because he pops so fast? Is it because he pops so hard? Let's take a look at another person. R squared, Poppin' John. I think most of you guys probably know who Poppin' John is. If you haven't, he was one of the dopest popper on World of Dance. Okay, very, very, very good popper. What makes him so good? I want you guys to think about it, because it's so easy to just like ask somebody, hey, what does it take? Okay, but you guys understand that when you have to really think about it, and you work towards that answer, once you get it, it makes that much more sense to you, versus if somebody tells you the answer right away. You know what I mean? It's almost like if you watch a movie, right? And the movie goes through the plot, and you invested your time and you invested your emotion into it, and then you see it climax to the climax of the story, and then the conclusion of the story. Then it's like, oh my God, you really feel for either the protagonist, or you really feel the story, right? And that's why you really love the movie. It's the same thing. If you don't spend the time to do that on your own, and somebody just tell you, hey, did you see the movie and this happened, and I tell you the ending, you're gonna be like, oh really? Oh, okay, that's cool. But you're not gonna really enjoy the movie, because you didn't go through that journey. Okay, so I think I would be doing you guys a disservice if I just say, this is what I think, this is my answer for it, and if you're my student, this is what you think. No. For me, I want you guys to kind of experience the journey, because if you guys experience the journey, you guys will really appreciate it. Okay, so again, the question for you guys out there, hieroglyphic, what's up, brother? Anytime is a good time. So what I want, the question is, what makes a good popper good? Or let's broaden that question up a little. It doesn't have to be a popper. It could be a locker. It could be a hip hop dancer. It could be a jazz dancer or a ballet dancer. What makes them a good dancer? What makes a dancer a good dancer, right? R Square, you said being on beat. Being on beat. You guys all agree? Is that the only thing? Or is that the main thing? Or is there a lot of other stuff? I'm sure there's a lot of stuff, but yeah, I want to get to the meat of it. What is the thing that has to be there, right? So if I say he has, or she has to be strong, do they have to be strong? Like, do they have to be able to, be able to do like 5 pull-ups? And I think you guys know the answer to that is no, you don't have to. That's kind of ridiculous, right? To be a good dancer, you have to do 5 pull-ups. That doesn't make sense. So of course that doesn't make sense. But what is it that they need, right? So Joseph, your answer is precision, clean pictures. That sounds very much like what Megan was talking about, right? Precision, clean picture, clean emphasis on quick flex and contrast and muscle. Yep. Okay, I like that. That sounds good. But I say, but I'm looking for something else. I know. Okay. So Nakshi, you said taking the feeling from the music and expression with your own body. That's really good too. Taking the feeling from the music and expressing with your own body. All right. So like, like actors are really good with expressing the feeling, right? Are actors, are Oscar-winning actors, great dancers? I don't know, right? What is the thing that makes it dance, though? You know what I'm saying? Because like, there's a lot of good instructors out there too. They say stuff like this: you got to put feeling into it. You got to put this into it. You got to put that into it. I understand, cool. But is that what the key is? What is the key? The thing that without it, it's not dance. Hieroglyphic, you said the ability to display what's being heard. Ooh, the ability to display what's being heard. Right. I understand that. Musicality. What does that mean, though? Okay. What does musicality mean? Because musicality just basically the ability to display what's being heard. But what does it mean, though? Like, think about it. If you had to explain that to somebody who was like a second grader, okay, a second grader. Let's try to see if we could explain this easily to somebody like a second grader. What makes that a great dance? Josie said hitting on beat isn't a good answer because there's a lot of way to hit a beat besides pop. So I'm not sure. Okay. There's a lot of way to hit on beat. but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I want you guys to be sure. I want you guys to be sure. So, but we're on the right track there, though. Okay. And Megan, you said it's like, you know, it's a way of telling a story, and I think it's an art form of storytelling. I think so too. I think so too. But does that make it great? Is that why Leah's great? Is there a way to do exactly what you just said without a certain key? Pattern makes a dance. A pattern makes a dance. LA, that's good. I see you, LA. You said consistency and you said passion. Okay. And I think all these are great, guys. I think all these are great. Okay. So what I want to do is this. I want to just give out my interpretation of what I think. This is my definition of dance. Again, you guys are free to take it. You guys are free to disagree with it. Okay. But but my answer is really, really simple. My answer really, really simple. And some of you guys already heard it. You guys already know it. Okay. To me, dance is just being on beat. That's it. And R Square, you said it already. I just didn't want to give it away right there. But and Joseph, you said you didn't think it was that, but you're not sure. Let me tell you why that is it. Okay. It's plain and simple. That is it. What it is dance to me, it's matching the audio with the visual. And this goes with, I think, what let me scroll. I think Joseph, I think you might have said that. No. Hieroglyphic, you said that. Ability to display what's being heard. Musicality. This is basically my definition of being on beat. Being with the music. Being together with the music. I think the question is about clean popping. Yes. We're gonna get to that, Joseph. Clean popping. So to me, clean popping is a form of it's a form of dance. How do you make it clean? How does the dance? What does a dance? How do you define a good dance? Right? I can look at Fred Astaire. I can look at the Nicholas Brothers. I mean, tappers, obviously, because they actually create the music with their feet, but they also do it with the band that's playing along with it. When you see any great dance, the music and the movement, they match perfectly, in sync, so well. To me, that's dance. That's it, period. Doesn't matter what music you dance to. If it's ballet, if it's jazz, if it's tap, if it's clogging, if it's crumping, if it goes very well with the music that you're listening to, it's great. And especially for popping, because popping, it's a very distinct that clap sound. Okay. And a bad popper is like a bad kung fu movie. You know, it's like, and then you hear the sound, right? Or you hear the sound and then the hit. And that's what happened. Like a lot of times when we rush things, when we feel like we have to impress the audience, we rush. So we move way too fast. If the beat's like this, boom, boom, we start going like this, here, and then you hear the sound. You move and then hear the sound. You know, you look, you're trying to hit the pose and be right on beat, but what happens is you're anticipating the move, you're boom, and then the sound happens. That happens all the time. I see that all the time, even with some really, really good dancers. And this is what I mean. Like, you know, a lot of us would say the precision. Well, what do you mean by precision? Is that precision? No, That is moving really fast, right? Does moving fast become precision? No, no, no. If you move fast to the music, then it becomes precision. It has to be with the music. That is it. Whatever the music is, it could be a beat, it could be a string, right? So if I wave to it, that makes me think of a string sound. Then it looks good because the audio, the visual matches the audio. All right. So I think a lot of you guys touched upon it, but I wanted you guys to go through that exercise because, as I said earlier, dancing on beat now means a little bit different than before you had gone through the exercise. Okay. Before you gone through the exercise, you guys heard, oh yeah, my dance teacher, this teacher says you gotta dance on beat. But you guys didn't really understood what dancing on beat is until you've gone through this exercise, until you watch yourself being a little bit off beat, until you watch yourself being 2 frames off beat, until you corrected yourself as much as you can and you're still 1 frame off beat, because it is a process. Dancing on beat is not something that you're going to get right away. Some of you guys will get it faster than others, but it's not something you're going to get right away. It's just like me telling you guys, hey, try to run the 100-meter dash in 10 seconds. Your muscle just can't do it, right? Your fast twitch is just not fast enough. You need to train. You need to train. Of course, you need to be, somewhat tall, but the idea is the muscle training takes a long time. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. And thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for making this a community. And I hope that we can keep this proper, because hieroglyphic, yeah, it's getting the proper frame per second. Exactly. It is that close. It is really that close, because as far as poppers have probably the least amount of room for error when it comes to stay on beat, right? If you think about it, the moves like b-boys, even jazz dancers, hip hop dancers too, the moves are like moving, right? So if I'm going boom right here, it's really easy for me to be perfectly on beat. Or if I'm approaching here and I miss it by 1 frame, it's really hard to see with the naked eye, unless I have a frame by frame picture, and then I could tell if somebody's off beat. However, the problem is if I'm popping, I'm already there, right? So if I'm next to a person that goes like this, that's only 1 frame. And if you're just 1 frame off, it's easier to tell if you're off, because popping, we're already in that position and then we pop, versus somebody moving to that position. Okay. So again, this is just science behind what makes a good popper clean. Again, a lot of you guys say, make it clean. But what I'm trying to say is, what does that mean? So I'm just kind of defining what clean popping means. Clean popping means be on beat. Really, that's it. Like, as far as like how hard you pop, here's a perfect example. Okay, you guys take a look at Pop and Pete. One of the hardest popper, right? Really hard popper. Take a look at another popper. Well, another dancer. Let's just say dancer. Boogaloo Sam, top Pop and Pete. Okay, Boogaloo Sam doesn't hit as hard, doesn't pop as hard as Pop and Pete. You guys take a look. Boogaloo Sam, watch how he pops. Look at Pop and Pete. Look how he pops. Pete is bam. Like you can almost feel the vibration of him with the air, the air around him, right? That's how hard he pops. If you guys were ever with him in person, like if you never met him in person, you watch it on video, it's like, it's hard, but video is so small. If you guys ever see him in person, you're like, damn, that's crazy how hard he pops. Okay, now look at Boogaloo Sam. He still pops hard, but not like Pete. Okay, another person I want you guys to watch is Junior Boogaloo. Junior Boogaloo, it's just super clean. He doesn't pop that hard at all, but it's super, super clean. Okay. And I actually have I got a lot of videos on my on this channel, and I don't know exactly. I probably showed them many, many times where I barely even pop. I basically just stop on the beat. I just stop. And that demonstrates cleanness. Clean. Okay, you guys use that word clean a lot. Clean to me just basically means be perfectly on beat and good control. Okay, perfectly, so that anybody that watches you knows exactly when you stop, right? That stop is nice, just on beat. Bam, bam. Okay, so all right, how do I get more power when I pop? Famous Jazz. How do you get more power? And I think I answered that earlier in this chat. The power has to be the time from your relaxed state to the flex state. Okay, so we'll touch upon this many times over and over again. And again, I want to encourage all of you guys to ask as much questions as possible. Even if I answered it before, I'm happy to answer it again. But this time we kind of ran a little bit late. So feel free to drop in next time, or feel free to just rewatch this video. I know we're live right now, but it's going to be replayed if you guys watch it again later. So anyways, that's it. Feel free to jump in. Hieroglyphic, bop. If you know, bop is another style. Okay, bop is another style. Bop is, you could probably find some interview with Bop and Andre talking about bopping. So really, really cool stuff too. Okay. All right, guys. My time is up. I talked a lot longer today, but I hope you guys got a lot out of it. If you guys did, definitely, drop in the chat, let me know. And be sure to hit that like button, because I really, really want to make this more of a mission to create a good dance community. When I first started this channel, it was really just to share my knowledge with Skeeter Rabbit. This channel was created because of my association with Skeeter Rabbit. I had a lot of his tutorials. He taught me, and I filmed it, and I was just going to share it with the world. Okay. And, back then it wasn't about, to me, I didn't care about no likes or whatever. It was just like, yo, I got something really cool I want to share with y'all, And then it wasn't until other dancers that really, really, enjoyed it. It was cool, but they were more on the YouTube game than I was. Okay. I didn't know you could make, I didn't know you could make money off of it. I didn't know you could do ads and all that stuff. So I didn't even think about that. And other people, what they did is they took the video. I ain't hating. Good job. If you're making money from it, cool. I ain't hating. They took the video and they showed it on their channel, and they're making revenue from it. So then I'm like, oh, damn, really? This is how we could do this? So then now I'm like, all right, cool. And then now I'm seeing a lot of people putting how-to dance videos and stuff like that. And for a long time, it was like, some of it was good and some of it wasn't good. So now I kind of thought like, okay, what would Skeet want me to do? All right. What would Gary want me to do? So hopefully my thing is, whoever, any of you guys out there, if you guys feel like, the information here is worth it, I do appreciate the support. I do appreciate the likes and all that stuff, and definitely share it. My goal really is to speak to those that find this helpful. Okay, I know there's a lot of good, helpful instructors out there. I know there's a lot of instructors out there that makes people frustrated. I know, and again, I don't want to blame them. This is, and I don't want to encourage any of my students to blame people. That's not what we're about. Because when you blame other people, you're taking the responsibility out of your own hands. Don't blame other people. Just try to get more skills. Find more places to get more skills so that we can solve the problems that we want. Seek the answers that we want. All right. So anyways, guys, that is it. Hopefully you guys have fun tonight. Hopefully you guys learn a lot. And hopefully we all make friends, make a community out of this together. Guys, I'll be back on Thursday, 9 p.m. Thursday. If you haven't checked out the interview with my boy, KB of the Jabberwocky, it is on. It should be ready. I think YouTube has to do is all rendering and stuff like that. Again, I know it's 2 hours long. It's quite long, but in case you didn't know, I'm also creating a podcast. It should be on Google Podcasts. It's on Spotify as well. So if any of you guys out there driving, if you feel like you want to listen to some of these interviews, it is out there. It's called Dance with Seach. So you guys should definitely check that out. All right, guys, thanks again. Let's have a good night. Much love. Make it funky. See you Thursday. Peace out.